Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read. Today I'm going to tell you guys about my July TBR and what I will be reading in the month of July. So this month's going to be a little bit different for me. As you know, last month I read all the books that Marcus chose for me, and this month I wanted to read some books that I had kind of on my backlist. So these are all books that were either given to me as an ARC or sent to me through my blog. And so I wanted to get to these ones. I'm going to be switching up some genres here that I don't normally go for. So that will be interesting for me. It'll be interesting for you guys as well, because you'll get to see how I react to these genres. I am still throwing some stuff in there that I do really want to get to, but it's more or less like a cleaning out the shelves kind of case where I'm just trying to get some books off my lists, so we'll see how it goes. Another fun thing about this month is that all of these books are on my electronic TBR. So I'm going to be reading all these books on my e-reader, which is a Kindle, and yeah. So as I'm going through this TBR, I'll show the books here because I don't actually physically own these books, and then I'll talk about each one. So the first book I'm going to be reading this month is called Fire on the Island by Timothy J. Smith. I previously read a book by him called The Fourth Courier, and it was a crime drama set in Poland. So that one I actually really enjoyed. And he reached out to me about another of his books that's coming out actually this month on July 7th. And so I'm really excited to read this one now. This book is a romantic thriller set in Greece, and it is about a gay FBI agent who is trying to track down the arsonist that has been setting a bunch of fires around this small island in Greece. So the book's already got 1 point for me because it's LGBTQ plus representation, and I'm down for that. So as he's on this island, the book kind of starts with him saving a dog from a fire that was started, which he later finds out was by an arsonist. And so now his job is to kind of be the detective on this island and figure out who this arsonist is that's setting all these fires and why they're doing it. He has a couple suspects. One of them is a bartender that he is currently having an affair with. And then another one is, I think it's one of the church leaders, but they're also kind of doing their own stuff with like forging art underground and things like that. He's also suspicious of the captain of the Coast Guard, but this guy seems to have his own agenda completely on something else. And so all of these come together, and eventually, I'm assuming, we will figure out who this arsonist is. If it's anything like his last book, I'm really excited for it because his last book was really good. Like I enjoyed it quite a bit. And so I'm excited to see where he's going to go with this one. The next book I have is The Mirror Man by Jane Gilmartin, and this one has been put up to the likes of Blake Crouch, which is immediately why I was drawn to it. So thank you, HarperCollins, for sending me an ARC ebook of it so that I could read it. This one is about a guy named Jeremiah Adams, and he has a failing marriage, a teenage son that is kind of like not really acknowledging him anymore, and a job that he's just lost his love for. So when his employer approaches him with an opportunity to kind of check out of his life for an entire year, get paid a massive amount of money, and all he has to do is let a clone take place of his life and take a copy of his memories and give them to the clone. He jumps at the idea because he wants to kind of get away from this. He's not really satisfied with his life right now, and he wants to just check out for a bit. So he accepts, and they make a clone, put his memories and everything into it. And so he now is getting paid to live in this fancy apartment and just kind of like sit on the back burner of his own life and watch and just do that. And so he is watching and it's going okay, but then it kind of starts getting out of hand and things just start spiraling out of control. And so now he, in order to keep his family safe, has to try and get back into his life and finally face himself. I think this sounds like a fantastic book. It's sci-fi, so I'm bound to like it. And yeah, like I'm just really excited for this one. Then we have the book The Tech by Mark Ravine. This is about Special Agent Cassidy, and she is kind of known as a hotshot, and she kind of like challenges her superiors, and this has got her very far in her career and made her kind of like the top one of the top investigators. So they end up transferring her to the backwaters of Arizona, where she kind of becomes the head of a crime unit there. And they start cracking case after case, and they're going flawlessly, which to her kind of stands out because it should never be this easy. And she's realizing that all these cases are very easy for her and her team. So she's getting kind of suspicious. Then things take a violent turn. There's a new elusive figure that comes into play. And so all these different things are happening at the same time. There's a whole bunch of different players or pieces that are kind of coming together in this game of cat and mouse with the investigations. And now it's all depending on who they put their trust in, because they all have their own agendas and you don't know what's going to happen. This one is set to be a suspenseful thriller, and I am down for that because I like thrillers and I'm excited to get some more of those on my TBR. So this next book is where it kind of delves into genres I am not used to. This one is called Billionaire Boss Undercover Affair by Kira Radcliffe, and this is a romantic thriller. But it's more on the romance side, which is, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this one, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I might as well. So this one is about a character named Susan who is working for this very rich conglomerate man, and his daughter has been getting involved with a internet mogul named Miles, and so this man wants to send Susan in as kind of like an undercover spy to get Miles away from his daughter, Alicia, so that she is not spending time with him or going on dates with him, because he doesn't want her to get involved with him, since he's kind of like a ladies' man that just sleeps with a lot of women, and he doesn't want that for his daughter. So he sends Susan in as a spy to kind of get under his skin and kind of infiltrate the system and be the one that Miles goes for instead, which ends up starting to happen. But then Susan kind of loses confidence in herself and does not really know whether she's still working for her boss or if she's falling into the grips of Miles and starting to work for him. And so it's kind of like her going back and forth on who she's really loyal to, but she's also worried about Miles finding out that she is an undercover spy and she is working for Alicia's father. That's all I really know about the book, so it sounds like it could be interesting. I know it's like less than 200 pages, so it won't be that intense of a book, I don't think, but who knows? I don't read romance very often, so we shall see how this turns out. This next book that I'm going to be reading, I'm actually super pumped for. This one's called Sleigh by Brittany Morris. This book is about a 17-year-old girl named Kira Johnson, who is a really smart kid. She's a math tutor, and she's one of the only black kids at her school, Jefferson High. But when she's at home, she joins hundreds of thousands of black gamers in the online multiplayer role-playing card game called Sleigh. Kira is actually the developer of this game, and nobody knows, not even her friends, her family, or her boyfriend, because he believes that video games are partially responsible for the downfall of the black man. So when a teen in Kansas City is murdered over a dispute in the game of Sleigh, news of the game reaches the mainstream media, and Sleigh is labeled as a racist, exclusionist game. Even worse, a troll joins the game and threatens to sue Kira for anti-white discrimination. So now Kira has to try and protect the only world that she can feel herself in. She must preserve her secret identity and harness what it's like to be unapologetically black in a world intimidated by blackness. But can she protect herself without losing the game in the process? I'm really excited about this one. It's labeled as like a contemporary young adult, but I also see like sci-fi elements to it with like virtual reality and as part of the game. And I'm also a developer, so seeing another developer as a main character is like super, super exciting for me. I think this book is going to be fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to it. Then I have two books that are historical fiction, and historical fiction is not known to be my favorite genre, but I'm willing to give these ones a shot and knock them off my TBR list. So those ones are The Seven Keys of Hildegard, of Mercy and Death, and the second one is The Seven Keys of Hildegard, of Love and Betrayal. Now I'm only going to talk about the first one because if I say anything about the second one, it'll give away things that could have happened in the first one that I don't want to know because I'm going to read both of them. So yeah, so I'm going to read you a brief synopsis of the first one. I was trying to summarize it myself, but like reading it is probably easier because there's like a lot of things happening in this summary. So here you go. In 1167, a German nun has a troubling vision prophesizing the end times. In 1917, Mary appears to 3 children in Fatima, Portugal, revealing mysterious secrets. In 1936, a young man is inexplicably hurled to his death off the side of a mountain in Italy, and the newborn he unknowingly leaves behind is spirited away to America by his terrified mother. But why? Tackling events throughout the early 20th century, the 7 Keys of Hildegard, of Mercy and Death, will challenge the very truth of what the Church and the world knows. Through 2 world wars and from Vatican in Rome, Italy, to New York City and small-town Canada, 2 knowing popes, an unsuspecting archbishop, and a monsignor become entangled in Hildegard's ancient web of prophecies. And one thing is certain, Armageddon is nigh. So that actually sounds pretty interesting. And I think that I might enjoy this one. We will see. I'm hoping that it can boost my love for historical fiction, because right now there is not very much love for it. So hopefully this book will make me like the genre just a little bit more. And hopefully this one's good, because I'm reading both of them. So I'm really hoping the first one's good so that the second one could also be good. Because if the first one's not good, chances are the second one's not going to be great either. So we'll see. And those are all the books that I'm reading in the month of July. Let me know if you guys have read any of those. I have a feeling that you probably haven't, because they're all not really that well known. Other than Sleigh. I'm sure a lot of you have read Sleigh, so I would love to hear your thoughts on that one. And yeah, let me know what you're reading this month. Definitely do that in the comments down below. I would love to hear it. I'm also really excited for next video, because I will be doing a wrap up of all the books that Marcus chose for me. And yeah, you guys will just have to wait and see what I thought of them. So yeah, that'll be fun. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon down in the description below. I also have a Ko-fi page, so you can check that out as well. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I post videos every Monday and Thursday. And until next time, keep on reading.